Once the gold standard of luxury, Hermes now faces a devastating expose that could shake the foundations of the entire luxury industry. This isn't just about one brand, it's about a global deception that's left consumers questioning everything. For decades, Hermes has been synonymous with wealth, heritage, and unparalleled craftsmanship. But a shocking revelation has blown the lid off what many believed was an untouchable empire. And now the truth is coming to light, revealing something far darker than anyone could have imagined. Behind those iconic Birkin bags, behind the supposed "Made in France" labels, lies a web of deception that has left even the wealthiest clientele feeling betrayed. From TikTok exposés to whistleblowers revealing secrets that the brand hoped would never see the light of day, the luxury giant is now under fire in a way no one could have anticipated. And if the claims are true, the very foundation of what we know as luxury fashion could be forever changed. So what exactly is going on behind those sleek storefronts once reserved for the elite? What's the truth that's being hidden behind the veil of exclusivity? Let's dive into the shocking details of this luxury industry scandal and explore how Hermes, the brand once known for its purity and excellence, could be the first domino in a larger collapse. The bombshell leak has hit the internet, and it's sending shockwaves through the luxury world. What was once considered a tightly guarded secret is now out in the open, and it's not pretty. According to multiple viral TikTok videos and shocking exposés, Hermes, one of the most respected names in luxury, has allegedly been outsourcing the production of its iconic products to Chinese factories. But it's not just any outsourcing. We're talking about high-end bags, carefully crafted by assembly line workers in Guangdong, far from the ateliers of Paris. The revelation started with a video posted by a factory worker in China, showing a row of genuine Hermes bags on a conveyor belt. The worker, who remained anonymous, gave viewers an inside look at what was allegedly happening behind the scenes. They zoomed in on what appeared to be a legitimate Hermes bag, complete with perfect stitching, stamping, and hardware. But then, the camera panned out to reveal a completely different picture. A Chinese factory, rows of conveyor belts, fluorescent lights, and the hum of mass production. How could a brand that claims to be handcrafted luxury be mass-producing bags in a Chinese factory? It's a question that's been echoing across social media ever since the footage went viral. And it's not just one factory or one rogue worker. It's a growing number of leaks and testimonies that suggest this isn't a one-off. This is a widespread practice that has been happening for years, hidden in plain sight. While Hermes has marketed itself as the pinnacle of artisan craftsmanship, the truth could be far different. From Birkin to Kelly, some of the most coveted and expensive bags in the world might not have been made in the romanticized, leather-clad ateliers of Paris. Instead, they could have been mass-produced in Chinese factories, with only minimal finishing touches carried out in France. What's more, some of the workers in these factories have gone on record claiming that these high-end bags are produced in batches, often with a significant portion of the labor done in China, while the "Made in France" tag is simply a legal loophole. But why would a brand like Hermes, who has long prided itself on its heritage, resort to this? And how did we get to the point where luxury was being redefined by overseas assembly lines instead of skilled artisans? The answers might shock you, and they go deeper than just a single brand's desire to cut corners. When we talk about the Birkin bag, we're not just talking about a luxury item, we're talking about an icon, a symbol of wealth, status, and exclusivity. But what if the price you're paying isn't reflective of the craftsmanship, heritage, or exclusivity you thought you were buying? What if the markup on these bags isn't about artistry, but about a carefully crafted illusion? Take the $38,000 Birkin bag, for example. You've probably seen it draped over the shoulders of celebrities, influencers, and high-net-worth individuals, the kind of bag that makes a statement the moment you walk into a room. But behind the glitz and glamour, the production costs of a Birkin bag may be far less impressive than the price tag suggests. According to multiple verified sources, including factory insiders, the cost to produce one Birkin bag in China is estimated to be around $1,450. Yes, you read that correctly. The same bag that retails for $38,000 or more could have been made for just a fraction of that price. So, where does the rest of that money go? Simple. It's all about the brand. The vast majority of that inflated price tag is wrapped up in the perceived value of Hermes as a brand. While the materials, like the finest leather and gold hardware, do cost a premium, the production process is not as exclusive as one might think. The bags are mass-produced in Chinese factories, often assembled by workers who follow highly efficient assembly line techniques. But here's the twist. The final touches, like stitching the handles, are sometimes done in France, allowing the bag to be stamped with the coveted Made in France label. This is where the illusion begins to unfold. The $1,250 cost of production doesn't include the astronomical markup Hermes adds to make their product luxury. The rest of the price is justified by the exclusivity of the brand, the celebrity associations, the perception of heritage, and the mystique of owning a Hermes product. In essence, you're not just paying for the materials and labor, you're paying for the privilege of owning a piece of an imagined luxury legacy. Now, imagine this. You're spending $38,000 on a bag that might not be as handcrafted as you thought, made by artisans who have spent decades perfecting their skills. Instead, you're purchasing a product that's produced on an assembly line, just like any other high-end product, but with a price tag that's been inflated to astronomical levels. What you're really paying for is the story, the heritage, the perception of luxury, and it's not just Birkins. Other Hermes items, including wallets, belts, and shoes, follow the same pattern. Factory workers in China are allegedly producing these luxury items at a fraction of the retail cost, and it's all wrapped up in an artificial exclusivity that luxury consumers have long been willing to pay for. But as more leaks emerge, it's clear that the true cost of these items isn't just financial. It's the authenticity of the entire luxury market that's been put under scrutiny. So, what happens when consumers realize they've been sold a dream, not a product? The backlash is swift, and Hermes and other luxury brands are facing the very real consequences of a deception that may have lasted for decades. But the real question is, how long can they maintain the illusion before the truth becomes undeniable? For decades, Hermes has marketed itself as the pinnacle of luxury, where each bag, belt, or wallet was a testament to artisan craftsmanship. The story goes, a highly skilled artisan spends days, sometimes even weeks, handcrafting each item, ensuring every stitch is perfect, every detail is precise. It's a story that has fueled the brand's mystique, turning its products into coveted symbols of wealth and exclusivity. But what if that story isn't entirely true? Consumers have long believed they were investing in a heritage of craftsmanship passed down through generations. They thought they were buying something that was made by hand in a small, intimate workshop, with each piece reflecting the skill and artistry of its maker. But the truth is, many of those luxury goods, including the iconic Birkin, were actually mass-produced in Chinese factories. Instead of the artisanal ateliers in France, what consumers were really paying for was a factory assembly line in China, where production is efficient and costs are kept low. And while Hermes does make some of the final touches in France, like stitching the handles or attaching the logo, the bulk of the work is done in factories where labor is far cheaper and production is faster. This revelation is devastating to the loyal customers who believed they were buying something special. They thought they were getting a handcrafted, one-of-a-kind piece of luxury that could only be made by the finest artisans. Instead, they were buying a product that was produced in a factory alongside other mass-market goods, all with the same luxury price tag. The illusion of heritage and craftsmanship has been shattered. Consumers who spent tens of thousands of dollars on what they believed to be an heirloom-quality item are now questioning what exactly they paid for. Was it the craftsmanship? Or was it simply the brand, the name, the exclusivity of being able to flaunt a Hermes item? This is the real cost of the deception. Not just the inflated prices, but the trust that's been lost. The very foundation of luxury, built on the promise of rare craftsmanship and heritage, is crumbling. And the biggest betrayal? The idea that consumers were not just buying a bag, they were buying into a story. And now, that story is revealed to be a carefully crafted myth. The truth about Hermes' manufacturing practices didn't come from some anonymous internet troll or disgruntled former employee. It came from the very people who had been behind the scenes, quietly assembling the products that would go on to fetch astronomical prices in boutiques around the world. These are the whistleblowers, the unlikely heroes in this unfolding drama. Why did they decide to speak out? The answer is simple: frustration, betrayal, and a desire for accountability. For years, these factory workers kept quiet, bound by non-disclosure agreements and the fear of losing their jobs. They were silenced by the allure of secrecy and the power of luxury brands. But as the pressure mounted, pressure from both financial struggles and ethical dilemmas, the truth became too heavy to carry. They realized that their silence was perpetuating a lie, one that misled millions of consumers around the globe. One of the most shocking aspects of these revelations is how open these workers have been. Instead of hiding behind anonymity, many factory employees have stepped forward, sharing photos, videos, and even internal documents to expose what's been going on behind closed doors. And the impact has been nothing short of explosive. In viral videos that surfaced across Chinese social media, factory workers revealed the real conditions of their workplaces. They showed footage of the assembly lines, where rows of workers were piecing together bags, Birkin bags, Kelly bags, and more, under the harsh glare of fluorescent lights, far removed from the idyllic image of French craftsmanship Hermes had worked so hard to sell. These workers didn't just reveal the factories they worked in, they exposed the luxury industry's carefully constructed narrative. It wasn't just about showing how bags were being made, it was about challenging an entire system. These whistleblowers are calling out the luxury industry for its reliance on cheap labor and its obsession with maintaining a high-priced image. In doing so, they're challenging the very essence of luxury itself. These workers didn't just blow the lid off one brand, they exposed an entire industry's underbelly. By stepping forward, they've forced the luxury world to confront its most uncomfortable truth: that the allure of craftsmanship and exclusivity may have been nothing more than a marketing ploy, an illusion constructed to justify astronomical prices. As the flood of revelations about Hermès' manufacturing practices reached a fever pitch, the brand's response was swift and highly calculated. Within days of the viral exposé gaining traction, Hermès launched a full-scale legal offensive, suing the Chinese manufacturers who had stepped forward with damning evidence. They accused these whistleblowers of defamation, intellectual property theft, and breach of contract. But why the rush? Why did Hermès react so quickly? And why take legal action so aggressively? To many, the timing raises more questions than it answers. Some critics have argued that this wasn't a genuine effort to protect the brand's reputation. Rather, it looks like a high-end cover-up in motion. The lawsuits came almost immediately after footage and documents surfaced showing Hermès products being made in Chinese factories. Videos showing rows of bags on conveyor belts, photos of assembly lines where the final touches were put on luxury goods, and even emails suggesting that middlemen were involved in the operation. All these materials hit social media platforms in a matter of days. It was clear, Hermès was caught in the act. And instead of addressing the allegations head-on, the brand turned to its legal team. The question now is, were they trying to cover up the truth, or were they simply in damage control mode? Some industry insiders claim that Hermès tried to buy silence before launching the lawsuits. Allegedly, the brand made cash settlements to key individuals in exchange for retractions. But when that failed, they brought in powerful international law firms known for their ability to make inconvenient truths disappear from the media spotlight. It was a move that seemed less like damage control and more like panic. And here's the real kicker. If Hermès truly had nothing to hide, why not respond directly to the accusations? Why not provide full transparency, show how their products are made, and prove that the brand still operates on the principles of heritage and craftsmanship? Instead, the brand doubled down on legal action, with some even claiming that Hermès was threatening whistleblowers with gag orders to keep the truth from coming to light. As the lawsuits continue to unfold, it's becoming clear that Hermès is caught in a delicate balancing act. They have two options: either continue denying involvement, which risks more leaks and public backlash, or admit that a portion of their production is outsourced and face the potentially disastrous fallout. Either way, their response, coupled with the timing of their legal actions, has many wondering if this is truly about protecting the brand, or simply trying to cover up the truth. The backlash against Hermès has been swift and brutal. What started as whispers on niche forums has quickly escalated into full-scale outrage, with customers flooding social media to express their shock and betrayal. Many longtime Hermès clients who once viewed the brand as the pinnacle of luxury are now demanding refunds, explanations, and even justice for what they feel was a massive deception. Luxury shoppers who spent tens of thousands of dollars on Hermes bags and accessories are furious. They believed they were investing in true artistry, exclusive, handcrafted pieces that represented heritage and legacy. Instead, they've learned that some of those high-priced items were produced in Chinese factories under conditions they never imagined. And now, their faith in the brand has been shattered. In response, many have taken to social media to vent their frustrations. TikTok videos are going viral, showing former customers confronting store employees and sharing their disbelief. Some customers are even organizing protests outside Hermès boutiques, demanding accountability from the brand. They want to know why they were charged exorbitant prices for what now appears to be mass-produced, outsourced luxury. But the outrage doesn't stop with consumers. Influencers and fashion bloggers, many of whom were once paid to promote the brand, are now distancing themselves from Hermès. Some have deleted old posts, while others have turned against the brand entirely. A few have even gone so far as to share their own theories about the company's alleged deception, fueling the fire even further. One viral video captured a woman holding up a Birkin bag with the caption, "I thought I was buying art. Turns out I bought Alibaba with an accent." That simple yet powerful statement captured the anger many feel, not just about the money they spent, but about the manipulation they've endured. For these customers, it's not just about the price tag, it's about the betrayal of trust. As social media continues to buzz with these reactions, one thing is clear. Hermès has a crisis on its hands. The very image it worked so hard to build, the idea that it is a brand of exclusivity, craftsmanship, and heritage, has been shattered. And no amount of legal action or PR spin is going to erase the reality of what's been exposed. The fallout from Hermès scandal doesn't stop with just one brand. As the truth about their production practices becomes more widely known, it's causing waves throughout the entire luxury industry. Luxury powerhouses like Louis Vuitton, Chanel, and others are now under the microscope. If Hermès, long considered the gold standard of craftsmanship, can be accused of deceptive practices, what does that mean for the rest of the market? It's no secret that many high-end brands have long relied on the aura of exclusivity and superior craftsmanship to justify their astronomical price tags. But if consumers start questioning whether their designer bags are really made by skilled artisans in France, or if they were mass-produced in factories overseas, the entire luxury ecosystem could unravel. The backlash that's currently engulfing Hermès could easily spread to other brands, especially if consumers start digging into the supply chains behind the labels they trust. This scandal could also ignite a much-needed movement for transparency in the luxury market. Consumers are demanding more accountability than ever before. They want to know where their products are coming from and how they're made. The idea that a luxury brand can charge premium prices for products that may not be as exclusive or handcrafted as they claim is becoming less and less acceptable. As a result, other luxury brands may soon be forced to reevaluate their own production practices. They may have to confront uncomfortable truths about their sourcing and manufacturing methods, or risk losing the trust of their most loyal customers. This could lead to a broader shift in the luxury industry, one where transparency, authenticity, and ethical production practices are no longer optional, but a necessity. The question is, will these brands embrace this change and evolve with the times? Or will they cling to the old ways, hoping the scandal will blow over? One thing is certain. The ripple effect of this expose is just beginning, and the luxury market as we know it may never be the same again. As the dust begins to settle from this massive scandal, one question lingers. If Hermès can't weather this storm, will the rest of the luxury industry be able to survive in the age of transparency? This isn't just about one brand. It's a wake-up call for the entire industry. The days of blindly trusting luxury brands and their so-called heritage may be over. Consumers are waking up to the fact that the prices they've been paying may not reflect the craftsmanship and exclusivity they once thought. In an era where information is at our fingertips, how long can brands continue to hide behind a polished image? As you reflect on your own purchasing habits, it's worth considering. Are you investing in true craftsmanship and authenticity, or are you simply paying for a name? The power is now in the hands of the consumers, and they're demanding more transparency and accountability than ever before. So, what's next for luxury brands? Will they adapt and evolve with the changing tides, or will they continue to hold on to outdated practices? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain. The industry is at a crossroads, and the road ahead may look very different from the one we've known.